Hey guys, I'm back here Saturday morning, kind of working on my own stuff. So what I started doing, I've got the Planishing hammer, got it all plumbed with the fittings. This morning I'm going to work on this piece. So I'm starting out with, it's like a 2.5 inch diameter solid stock. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it down to a 2 inch OD. And then I'll cut it where I'll have the right length. What I come up with is I'm going to end up, after I get my 2 inch OD, what I want, it's like 7.5 inches long. I'm going to blow a hole through it, and it's going to be like a tight fit sleeve, but it's going to be like a piston. This rod will be able to slide up and down inside the cylinder, and at the bottom I'm going to cut threads into this. And what's going to happen, it's going to be kind of like the bottom of the English wheel. It's going to have basically a bolt, which is not going to be a bolt. It's going to be a handmade bolt like on the lathe. So it's going to be bigger threads, more threads, and at the top of it, I'm going to chamfer it down and put like a little nipple. On the bottom of this hammer that's going to come up, or pedestal I should call it, it's going to have a hole in the bottom of it with a bushing. So this and this bolt stay true inside the cylinder. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to knurl a piece of aluminum, and I can just crank this up and it can come up and get to my gap that I want. But then at the same time, I got to be able to lower it so I could swap out the bottom dies on this. So I'm going to show you where it's going, and then I'll take you back up into the machine area shop, and I'll show you what I'm going to start with, and then I'll show you a little bit of video of me turning it down. Obviously, I've got to take it down quite a bit, so I'm not going to post a video of it just turning for the next 20-30 minutes. So I'm going to show you now where it's going. So this here, excuse me. So this right here is radiused. As you can see, I cut an arch in it, and both sides are that way. And then what I'm going to do is it's going to fit in there nice and tight. And then obviously I'm going to have to center it amongst the hammer to here. And then it'll get welded in around the top, down the sides, and around the bottom. So it'll be nice and sturdy. So now that you can see where the piece where it's going, let's go check out what I'm starting with on the lathe itself. So here I am in the machine shop area. So this is what I'm starting with, and it's basically just solid stock chucked up, and then I'm going to turn it down because I need it to be 2 inch OD. So I've got my mics and stuff. Let me try to find a place for this. Well, it ain't gonna work. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to hold it. So I'm gonna turn on my lathe, and then when I take a cut, I'm not doing a whole lot of cutting, just because it's an older lathe, and it's not, I mean, I'll show you. Let me tighten this up real quick. So it's not a real heavy lathe. So this is kind of like something that's just in your garage, but so this is my old lathe that I got. I kind of went in and rebuilt a couple things on it, but it does the job. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fire it off, and then I'm going to come in here. So right here is my indicator of how many thousandths I could take off. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to touch off. See how it touched right there? I know that I'm on the material. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to take about 5 to 10 thousandths off at a time. Over here on this piece here, this is the auto feed. So as you watch, I'm gonna kick it on and it's just gonna auto feed. Get out of the way because this stuff does start flying every now and then. So after it makes the cut, I'll shut off the auto feed and I'll show you. So as you can see, it's a nice machine finish, nice and smooth. So I'm gonna keep doing this until I get it down to the OD of 2 inch. So let me grab my mics real quick. The light's kind of bad in here. Right now I'm at 288 thousandths. So basically, or 2 inch, 288 thousandths. So I've got to take off 288 thousandths to get down to my 2 inch OD. So I'm gonna do that, and then my last cut, I'll show you that I'm only gonna take off like probably around 3 to 4 thousandths, and that's gonna put a nice machine finish. I'm probably gonna change up the speed on the lathe just so it just buzzes through and it'll almost polish this piece, and that'll be done. Yeah. So I'm gonna get back to cutting, and I'll show you guys after I get it down. I'll show you the aftermath of cutting all this stuff off, and then we'll go from there. All right, guys, so I got it turned down finally. So I didn't make a final cut because he's gonna have to do, or my buddy who's a machinist, he's gonna come in with a boring bar. I don't have a boring bar. So I got it down to 2 inch. As you can see, this is the aftermath. That's one pile. The other pile I already took out of the shavings. But I undercut it a skosh because the way it's gonna fit in this, because that was hole sawed. So let's see here. So if you could see the dial, just undercut it a skosh. So that's what I'm doing this morning, is just trying to turn that down, get ahead of the program before I hand it over to the machinist, because he's gonna go in and bore it out for me. I would do it. He has a lot sturdier lathe, so he can go in there and rip it and cut threads and all that stuff, while I kind of focus on something else. So I just wanted to kind of share that with you guys, that's how it's kind of coming down. So stay tuned. If you have any comments on machining or something like that, let me know. But that's the finished product for now. You guys stay tuned. I'll post more videos and stuff like that.